Hi, my name is Elaine, and today I'm going to talk about diatonic pivot chord modulations. First, let's listen to a piece of music by Mozart. Okay, let's listen to it one more time. So, the key signature is in D major, and it started with the Alberti bass in D major, but somehow it did not end in D major, but instead it's in A major. Strange, right? Because what happened is what we call a modulation. Let's define what a modulation is. A modulation is a change of a key to a new local key. Tonicization has the same meaning and concept with modulation, but somehow it is on a smaller scale. Modulation can also be achieved through different means. It can be chromatic, direct, or by using pivot chord. How can we know that there is a modulation? There are different ways. One way is when a predominant dominant tonic progression in the new key happened. So that's very important. So in order to have a 5-1, you should have a predominant because that signifies that something is about to happen. Another way is a firm cadence through a perfect authentic cadence where the tonic note of the new keys are on the top and the bottom notes of the harmony, or imperfect authentic cadence. But take note, you are still dealing with 5-1. Another way is through an extended progression in the new key. Somehow, when you have landed in a new key, in order to settle, you have to extend some progressions. So, let's talk about the pivot chords because this is our primary topic. So, what are pivot chords? Pivot chords are transitional chords and they have a full membership in both the home key and the newly established key. Pivot chords often serve as a predominant function in one or both keys. This is achieved by a common chord modulation. That means a pivot chord is used. So let me explain this Mozart Sonata K284 in D. So this is the second phrase, actually, the consequent. This is where the modulation happened. So it started with the D, but in the first inversion, and then it went to the sixth chord. So the sixth chord would be in B minor. This B minor happens to be the first inversion also of the two chord in A major. This box just indicated that D major and A major share the same chords of B minor. And then, as you can see, it continues in terms of the A major tonality. This is the predominant of 2 going to 5, the dominant, and then the A. A major, PD, D, and then T. And as you can see, this is an extended progression. So one of the common modulation is from the major key to its dominant. As we can see in the Mozart example, D major to A major, that's the perfect example of modulating from a main key to its dominant because A major is the dominant. So in order to find out the possible pivot chords, we must examine the chords in the key by stacking up the thirds to make a chord. So in D major, the one chord is D, F sharp, A, which is in A major, that is the 4 chord. D, F sharp, A as well, because A major has F sharp as well. And then here we have E, G natural, and B, because there is no G sharp, but here in A major, since we have a G sharp, it becomes E, G sharp, B. So this is a minor 2, but this is a major 5. And then the rest of it use the same method, just by stacking up and comparing. The boxed ones are the pivot chords because they have the similar mode. So to summarize, 1 and 4, they're the same. The 3, minor 3 and the minor 6 are the same. The major 5 and the major 1 are the same. The minor 6 and the minor 2 are the same. So the most common one is using the 6 chord in the primary key and the 2 chord of the dominant. Sorry, this is a typo. It should be 6. 2 is a predominant chord as well as the 6. So pivot chords are diatonic in both keys and must have the same quality. One cannot be a diminished while the other is a minor or a major. They have to be the same. Let's construct a chart of pivot chords. First, let's look at the keys A flat major and E flat major. So with major keys, we know that we have a major 1, minor 2, minor 3, perfect 4, perfect 5, minor 6, and then diminished 7, right? So since this is a major key as well, we have the same sequence. But then we start at 4. Let us put down the Roman numerals of E flat major. Next, let's put the rest of the chords in A flat major. So the 3 chord would be C minor, and then D flat, E flat, F minor, then G diminished. While in E flat major, the 3 chord would be also C minor, then D diminished, E flat major, F minor, and G minor. So the common ones, obviously, we have the 1 and 4 chord, and then the 3 and 6 chord, and then the 5 and 1 chord, 6 and 2 chord. We can draw from the conclusion when one major key is moving to its major dominant, most likely the same functions like the 1, 3, 5, 6 would be the possible pivot chord that can be used in the new key. Let's talk about why this 6 to 2 is very common. First, having a 3 chord minor 3 as a predominant is not common, though it is possible, especially in classical music. Also, it's hard to use the tonic chord when you want to switch to a new key. Another problem is that this one, you have the same problem. Switching from dominant to tonic, you have the same tonic key. So as much as possible, our predominant should not be a tonic key.